So, 1945, and the Papal State is fighting the communist hordes of Stalin. How did we get here? Well, let's find out. We hop on over to disastersavior.com where you can pick up this disaster save yourself if you're interested. We find the following. Yeah, wanted to form a Roman Empire. Everything was going well. I beg to differ and attacked Turkey. Turkey joined the Comintern, suddenly at war with half of Europe. Very little manpower, 400 divisions against 100. No navy in the Med, no control of Gibraltar and the Suez. Well, with that information, I think it's safe to conclude that Pope Pius, the Supreme Pontiff, and the Vicar of Christ,
and I'm his friend Jesus,
is not a military tactician. So, big overview. It looks like you beat the Allies and just decided to annex everything you could. Not the best move, but okay, we'll deal with that. Next up, tactical situation. Not good. Northern Italy is lost along with pretty much everything else. Great. You have a massive navy outside of the Mediterranean. You don't control any way back in, so nice. And perhaps the biggest issue, you have no fuel. You have not only no fuel, you also have virtually no refineries. If I look around your country at what you have left here, you basically have no refineries. You're making 101 fuel per day. I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. So, there's a massive navy we can't run because we have no fuel. You have a massive air force we can't run because you have no fuel. And we have a sizable tank corps, dear God, that we can't run because you don't have fuel. Fuel is the lifeblood of the military. How can you fail at this? Okay, other problems are, of course, the hordes of Soviet troops in the north. That's less than ideal. They've broken through. We need to stop the flow. We need to stop the bleeding. And we need to find a way to crack Gibraltar back home. Fortunately, I have some ideas. I have some plans. Let's go check out this here. We're gonna go down to limited exports. Whatever limited resources we can have, we're not gonna trade away. We're at war with virtually the world, so trade is a non-starter. Anyway, war economy is fine. We'll get the industrial concern Ajib for more refining, synthetic resources. Well, at least the Pope is still in ascendancy. Let's take a look at our logistics. Oh boy. So I don't quite understand how you end up in this situation, this situation, and have massive stockpiles of equipment. Everything other than mechanized, you have so much of that. I just don't understand how you ended up here. Did you delete half your army? Did you get massively encircled? Did you just not have more troops? You've lost 500,000 men. How? On the bright side, that means I'm not super dependent on scraping things together for the economy, so I have stuff to work with. Yay. Construction. Yeah, we're not finishing up any of these. We're just gonna complete what already has a little bit of stuff invested into it, and then we're gonna delete the rest. Synthetics. Highest infrastructure provinces cram chock full of synthetic refineries. Refineries. I need fuel. Also, a lot of people forget this, but we need a little bit of a railway connection here between these two tiles. Otherwise, the game will force all supply into Sicily to go via sea. All right, Air Force, we are deleting everything. Yes, okay, cool. We need an Air Force. Yes, I believe you. I agree with you. We have, let's take a look here, several thousand airplanes in reserve. Many thousands of them. We also have zero fuel and no way to get any. So for the time being, the Air Force is simply a non-starter. The Navy, such as it is, we're gonna split off the submarines. I can take these 44 subs. They can still sail because I know they can still get through Gibraltar. I'm gonna sail them towards Roma. These are all terrible subs. Like, these are the worst subs I've seen. I mean, I would never run these, but considering we have 44 of them, we might be able to get them in here and project a little bit of naval superiority to prevent naval invasions. Maybe. Then the main fleet, such as it is, will halt them, no orders, and we'll sail them over to Casablanca and then figure out how we can use the Navy to naval invade near Gibraltar and open up the way, even if it's just to get the Navy into the Med. Next up, I have 12 divisions that I can deploy here. I'm going to dump them next to Palermo. We are going to stop the enemy's march in North Africa, or at least give it a good old try. So we'll hold this supply hub and then this choke point. This is a lake they can't cross. That should allow us to hold Algeria and Morocco, provided they don't naval invade there. And these guys should not be able to really push me no matter how many numbers they bring, because from experience, this place is a supply hellhole. They will starve and die, which I can only applaud. Germany controls the Isle of Man, and that completely locks out releasing the UK. Production, we need to sort out production. So we don't have resources. We cannot trade outside of the Mediterranean until we crack open the gates. So we're stuck with the resources we have, and the resources we have are not much, meaning production is going to be virtually nothing. Fortunately, we have deep supplies, deep stockpiles, so down to 15 infantry equipment, 5 on everything else. Then the important one, Navy. I have dockyards that are not doing anything. We have 4,000 convoys, so we'll strip down to like 5 dockyards on convoys, and we need to secure the Med. All right, front line is more or less secure. It's just a matter of reorganizing pretty much everything now. Just make sure we can hold that northern front, and from there, carefully pull the armor out. I'm going to be doing all of this under red air with red seas, and we're going to have a terrible time. But God willing, we will hold and we will drive the demons back. Stalin, you will not pass. You cannot pass! Research. Night vision, very cool, but not priority. We need oil processing. Logistics, very cool, but not now. We need fuel refining. Heavy bombs, very cool. Don't need that right now. We need rubber processing. Improved land forts, no. Let's grab the survivability studies for the air. And then signal companies, very cool, very nice. Not what we're grabbing today, not yet at least. Let us go forth and improve the mountain infantry. So the priority is going to be getting all the fuel I can out of every single refinery I built. One adjustment I'm making, I was going to do rubber processing, but then I had a thought. I need sonar to find more of the enemy subs, so I'll grab sonar first. We can do rubber processing later. So with the Navy docked here, I have an idea. I have split off about 34 destroyers, specifically because these things have both some anti-submarine warfare as well as hydrophone, so these can find and destroy enemy subs. I will be keeping them nearby to run into the Mediterranean as soon as we crack the door open. The main fleet has been split in half. Half will go into the Mediterranean to protect our homeland and to provide cover for potential naval operations in North Africa, the Balkans, Spain, wherever. The other half, well, we're running these guys up to the British Isles. We are going to sail them up to like Liverpool, anything to prevent from having to go to the British Channel. Really, the English Channel is not the place to be. We're simply going to run them up there with the goal being project power around that area to hopefully shield it from naval invasion. Also, these men have made it into position for the most part. The troops heading around the Cape are at least doing fairly well. These guys might actually get into position in time to stop the Soviets at the gap, safeguarding, at least for the time being, Southeast Asia. Yeah, subs made it into the Med. I'm gonna put them on strike force, just get me a little bit of green seas if I can, and run them into Rome so that they don't require supply lines. And it does look like the fleet here is able to project enough power that will not immediately be naval invaded. Great. Well, with just the patrolling vessels out there, I burn 76 fuel per day. I gain 101 per day. So in theory, we should be positive as soon as all of our tanks have filled up. And then once these refineries come online, things should be a lot smoother, not to mention when all the research gets done. So that is a small solution to a massive problem. So this is an absolute slaughter. The problem is that all of these units, at least half of these units, have very low org, simply because they've been in combat forever and ever and ever and ever. I don't know how you ended up here, but the way you ended up here has completely fucked your army. You don't put 50 divisions on a tile and just send them forward, or park them on a tile to continuously be pounded into dust. That ends you up with a stack of 50 infantry that cannot fill the combat with anyway, and none of them get any org back. So as they all slowly bleed out and get pushed from here, the ones you have in reserve also have no org. A unit in reserves here does not regain org. End result being, your units get pushed out, and any fresh units that come in to reinforce the battle also have no org and die instantly. The result, you lose tiles. Despite having 10 times the divisions the enemy has, you cannot hold, you cannot hold, you cannot hold. So what do? You don't constantly try to attack. You maintain secondary lines and you shuffle troops in and out of combat if things get desperate. Like here, it is pretty fucking desperate. I am going to lose La Spezia, which is not great, but I can retain control of Tuscany if I don't lose Livorno and I don't lose Florence. But yeah, secondary lines are a big fucking deal, my guy. Now we're constantly being attacked by a Soviet Union that has air superiority, that has all the advantages, and the one advantage we did have for a tiny brief moment, namely that of having a lot more units than they did in a small area, is completely negated by the fact that here you have 60 divisions in the combat. That's great. Now look at your 62 reserves. None of them have full organization. All of these units are beaten to a bloody pulp. What do? Let's pick the ones that are really weak. Let's start pulling some units out. Pull them out of the battle so they leave. If they're not in combat, if they're not in the battle, they can regain organization. A unit that does not have its full org or close to its full org is worthless in the grand scheme of things as a reinforcing unit. Make it pull back, shuffle it around to other places so in the back lines it can regain some of that organization and go again. La Spezia is lost. We'll hit last stand and then pull the rest of these units out so they can get some organization back, and then once they have org, funnel into combat like normal and hope to God everything holds. Destroyers are at least chasing some of the subs away, and we have green seas for the most part, so we'll start a naval invasion from Casablanca and we'll hit Cadiz in the area next to Cadiz. The problem is going to be that I can get the door open, but it is going to slam shut almost immediately as soon as the Soviets realize what I'm doing. So we're gonna land big here, try to take Gibraltar, dig in on like these 3 tiles with 16 divisions just to keep the port or the strait open if we can. Up here we've sort of stabilized things after that last stand. We've got a secondary line going. For the most part, the attacks are stopping for long enough that our divisions are able to get a little bit of org and a little bit of reinforcement in. So they are unfortunately guarding this place fairly well. I don't have the command power to throw stuff at this. Attack, and then a sidelong attack. All I need is to open up Gibraltar. And we have failed to take Gibraltar. Not great. But I do believe the Soviet forces here have decided to leave, so their org plummeted to 0 immediately after combat. That's great. I took Cadiz, and we're now going to funnel everything in there. We might be able to take it now. Yep, because again, they are trying to leave because they realize, uh-oh, we've been encircled, and they're trying to leave through sea. Okay, open up Gibraltar. Open it up. It's open! It's open! Okay, so trade can flow. Shit's getting sunk left, right, and center, so it's not flowing, but it can flow. The Navy is running to Rome. My destroyer escorts are also running to, let's run to Napoli. And you guys here, I'll put one of them on Gibraltar itself, just to hold that. Dig in there, hold for as long as you physically can. No matter what else happens, I have jackpot. Sort of. I've got my Navy in. Navy's in the med. Make a dash for home. Project as much power as we can there. Over here, if they invade, we lose the Isles. I cannot do anything to stop that. And we've blocked the expansion of their naval invasion from Brindisi. The armor could throw them back if they had fuel. Unfortunately, no. Finally, oil processing. So we're starting to work our way into the oil business. 200 a day. So we've doubled our income. And the Soviets are now moving to crush the Gibraltar pocket. We'll hold it open for as long as we can. Realistically, these guys are all dead. Well, they're not dead. If I disband all but the irregulars, they just go back to being part of that Ethiopian puppet, and they're not at war with the Soviets, so they just be exiled and try to make their way home. Well, it's a lot of green seas I'm seeing again. Wonderful. It's just the Adriatic here. That is going to be problematic. I'll try to get my subs in. They can still pass the Strait of Otranto. Are you telling me you're trying to supply this via sea? Of course they are. And so, oh, Oh my god, the AIs. Oh, why is the supply system so stupid? So I allowed access through this C zone, and suddenly the game decided, that's a level 10 port. Let's just use ships to supply it. Despite having a railway. It's a perfectly functional maximum level railway all the way to our capital. No, let's just use the convoys for supply. And suddenly, of course, these men no longer had any supply. As a result, they're now prone to losing. The ships are now in the Adriatic as well, convoy raiding the shit out of whatever comes into Brindisi. Of course, that strips me of fuel, which is a problem. So we're going to halt most of those vessels, and I'll keep one hunter pack out there raiding. That should be enough. Everything else is going to go back to port and sit there. The patrols are still out. Yes, it's not ideal. I am aware none of this is anywhere close to being ideal. Just hold on to Gibraltar for as long as you can, boys. No, you're going to lose. Okay, so these guys have lost, but they've done their job. We'll simply delete all these guys. That will turn them back over to my puppet, who's not even in the war. And I'll press disband the irregulars to get rid of those last 3 irregular divisions, I guess. I heard another naval invasion sound. They're going to take Malta, can't stop them. They're gonna... No, they've landed here, that's fine. They're gonna land troops up there, apparently can't stop them either because... you have no intel, Alright. My hands are forced. I'm gonna use my armor, what little I have, 7 of them. They have managed to somehow refuel, and I can run them for about 5 days. So I hope an offensive of 5 days is enough to push them out of Brindisi. That's just running on the fuel they have. I'm getting desperate, boys. I'm getting so desperate. I am not finding enough of these subs. My convoys are not doing as well as they should. Am I cooked, chat? Am I cooked? Is the Pope not Deus Fulting? The defenses at least hold wherever there are defenses. Having said that, this may not hold. Fuck. Fine! More armor reserves. These guys still have a little bit of fuel. Rush them in there. They might take that port, but not if I can help it. Deploy 2 mountaineers to Puglia. There we go. Immediate last stand order. Fuck you guys, you're not getting my port. Boom. Last stand. They will hold that port. These 7 divisions, move up and circle and destroy. Move up north, kill those guys. I am not ready to die. I'll have to use the god damn it. I have to use the backline reserves to do it, but they managed to get there in time. With the last stand, we should be able to contain that. The north is holding, and then we'll redirect the infantry south because we need to retake Puglia. We've lost Puglia. That's just... I am so angry! I need people to get this through their thick skulls. Armies don't work without fuel. You can have 1 billion tanks and 1 quadrillion airplanes. If you don't have a single drop of fuel, none of it works. Why won't you people just get fuel? I just had to pull the armor reserves off all the lines. They're pointless. They are useless without fuel, but fortunately the extra infantry, along with the extra mountaineers, well, I've just stripped my secondary, my back line, thrown them at the south of my country, because apparently, this giant mess needs to go away. With these units here, we might stand a chance of pushing them back out of Taranto and the rest of Italy. I'm gonna keep ranting and raving about this, but fuel. I need you people to understand. Armies need fuel. Build synthetic refined. Unless you're the Soviet Union or you're the United States or I don't know, you're Qatar and you're sitting on the world's greatest oil supply. Build. For the love of God, build synthetic refineries and research the technology for synthetic oil. Or maybe even just regular oil. That also helps if you're sitting on a small deposit. Just get oil. We're finally starting to strip the enemy of its naval assets in the region, so we're sinking stuff. We have supremacy just barely. That should fend off naval invasions for the time being. Meanwhile, I'm being stripped of all my overseas territories by invasion after naval invasion, so anything is... yeah, we're losing a lot of stuff. And the bigger puppets I've made... oh, I just realized I have some Chinese land. I now have a new China. Let's get that new China to do some building, I guess. Anyway, the the bigger overseas puppet should be able to start producing troops. They should be able to run through their focus trees to get me more factories. Let's push the bastards out of Taranto, please. Please push the bastards out of Taranto. I want my port back. Yay! And then on to Brindisi. Okay, so that settles that. Northern defenses are pretty solid. And draft dodging. Fine, I'll raise your pay. Glorious, glorious victory. I've pushed them off Brindisi. The tides are turning. Puglia is ours. We're gonna encircle and destroy like 8 of their divisions there. That is gonna swap the Strait of Otranto back to being contested, I guess. I think they will not be able to get a navy in there, and my subs in the region should be sufficient to hold whatever green seas I need. It's done. It is done. All right, let's get these guys back to... Actually, maybe I should guard my ports. No, I think we'll be fine. I'm gonna move the mountaineers up to the rear and exercise them, and then these guys to the main front. I'm training an additional 12 divisions that I'll use as reserves. All right, now with the seas mostly swept clean, we actually have some trade route efficiency. Would be great if I could just like crack open Gibraltar again for another go, squeeze some oil out, but that's gonna have to wait. We're positive on fuel. The Navy's not burning too much of it because everything is in port. I'm not using the big strike fleets. We're gonna start building hopefully a reserve of fuel, and I'm gonna start a counterattack in this region here. It does look like Tripoli might be wide open. If it is, great. I'll take Tripoli, quickly build a railway to connect it. Yes, Tripoli's wide open, meaning victory. That was quick.
That's what she said.
For reasons not entirely known to me, the AI has done an incredibly funny things with all its troops in Libya. I don't know why, but at the risk of being real stupid, I'm going to see if I can encircle that bunch of divisions and push past them, because they're really weird right now. Let's see if I can do like a pinning attack. Absolute cinema. That's like 30 divisions they've just allowed me to encircle there for no reason. Let's look at this absolute disaster that is happening for literally no reason. I think this might be the most beautiful sight I've seen all run. 1.3k fuel per day. I am getting more fuel than I'm burning. I'm building a stockpile. At this rate, it will fill in 2 years. I've already been here for almost a full year. I've seized this portion of Benghazi, and then from here, push on to Tobruk. There we go. Got him by the balls. That's a really good play. That is a really good play. That secures a good portion of North Africa for us. We've also got Tobruk itself. Now that I have control of the seas, I have control to do funny things. So I'm going to launch naval invasions behind this overstretched front. I got him trapped here. Fucking knew it. I said before, look, Stahl, I just got to watch out that I don't get reinforced. They reinforced me off the tile when I wasn't looking, organizing a naval invasion. Oh, I hate the AI. I hate the AI. I am bleeding manpower though, so as much as it pains me, I'm gonna need to go up the service bar requirement. There goes my industry. Ooh, oh golly gee. There's Soviets here. Actually, this time I am pretty ready for them. Should be able to take them out relatively easily. Set up defensive perimeter here. Push inland. Seize what I can seize and dig the hell in. All right, sweet. We have Gibraltar. The next step, Cadiz and Sevilla. We'll take Granada as well. Oh, look at that. Green across the board. We should be able to attrition them down eventually, as long as we can keep production going. Step by bloody step, we're dislodging them. All right, now that I have fuel, let's bring up the armor for the push in places where the mountaineers don't have the advantage. Oh yeah, we're steadily losing here, so maybe not as great as I had hoped. Let's hold these air wings, turn off the missions, and fly them over there. And we'll try to slowly extract these units back to Gibraltar. All right, we're into Ferrara. I'm gonna keep driving as long as I can. All right, we've got Bologna. That means we have Emilia-Romagna and a bunch of factories, a bunch of manpower. Well, a little bit of manpower. Okay. All right. The window of opportunity is gonna close. Yeah, they've got us here. We are gonna be forced to fall back to these positions and hopefully hold, but I don't think I can hold Gibraltar. Right. La Spezia is back, and I think we're gonna have to simply hold here for a while. Oh, Oh, we have control of Piemonte. We took Genoa. Oh, thank God. That's a little bit of manpower, a lot of factories, resources we could potentially reclaim. Yeah, and I don't know how they do it. They've just done it again. 100% naval supremacy, and I'm getting naval invaded in Taranto. Yeah, dangerous naval invasion, my ass. Still, they invaded me with 0% naval superiority. Zero. Nada. Zilch. Nitski. I still don't get it. All right, naval invasion thrown back. Glorious. Well, since the enemy is entirely unwilling to play the games on my terms and everything has... Ooh, that's not good. That's fine. Is a massive stalemate. We're gonna need to do some big maneuvers. Disperse the forces. Go, go, go, go, go, go, go. Go. All right, we've split the front in half. That means this infantry army simply hold the north. I'll draw an offensive line for some planning, but that's it. Full-on attack in the south. This is a big play, though. This is a big, risky play. All right, that's good. That's good. That's good. This is good. This is really good. Okay, up here also really good. Fine. All right, that should see us reclaim Spain. And just like that, Spain secured. Sweet. I have another brilliant idea. I'm going to launch a combined thrust using my armored, who have all been named after our glorious channel members, the ones who allow me to do what I do, and they do it very well. These are the elite. And the other elite, the mountaineers, also named after our glorious channel members. The plan would be a combined pincer offensive of sorts to push out from Genoa towards the Alps, and at the same time an armor thrust from Catalonia towards Marseille. Good moves, good moves. Yes, towards Bordeaux. Oh, they got a unit in there. Yes. All right, so that entire section of their glorious front line has been gloriously recomposed. We shat all over them. Well, the Germans caught me with my pants down while I was trying to micromanage a small offensive in the north, trying to take Turin. Yeah, this happened. Fortunately, the AI is still pretty stupid, so I was able to extract all of my offensive units from the northern front and throw them at this disaster waiting to happen. Hopefully, I can... No! Damn it. Yeah, like, hopefully I can stop this before it really becomes a massive issue, which admittedly it already is, sorta, kinda. Well, I have been betrayed. The Chinese United Front has gone to war against Vietnam and me. So there goes my Vietnam, I guess. Wow, that's not what I needed right now. With China's entry into the war, the collapse in Asia has also begun. I'm going to lose pretty much all of Southeast Asia, I think. Hey, first real good pocket. So while I'm waiting for that naval invasion to kick off, I decided to do a little pincer. That is a whole lot of Soviet troops having a really bad day. Just quickly managed to snag all of these guys in mine great trap. Yeah, Laos, Vietnam, all that Southeast Asian stuff's gone. Look at that. Got him? Do we got him? I think we got him. No, more troops. Got him. That was 300,000 troops. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. China joined the Soviet Union. That gives them... Wow, so they not only... Oh my god, Chang, you massive troll. That gives him all of Southeast Asia, because that means he can go to war with the Fourth Burmese Empire without having to justify it. He can just go in there. My enemies have just gotten exponentially stronger. Fuck. Well, I'm just getting pummeled from all sides now. Any hope I had of this is being salvageable or satisfactory way is over. I'm gonna try and just form Rome, maybe cap Germany. Well, let's go launch that naval invasion, then see what happens. If those cruisers show up, I am cooked. Don't have an answer to it. Take Padova. Make big land grab now. Yes. Come on. At least I got the province of Venice with a lot of factories, steel, and resources back. I can take Verona. that gives me a land connection. So there's no river crossing penalty there. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe I can actually do something there. Okay. Oof, we've done it. We've done it. We've linked up the fronts. Okay, that means this is secure. Move the mountaineers to cover that flank. So we are forced to break the deadlock one way or the other. So I've decided to go 2 two approaches at once. One, armored thrust up towards Le Havre, cut off Brittany, half of France, set up on the Seine River, just take more of France, start rolling the enemy back, and hopefully, like, cut off a good section of the enemy front that I can destroy there, if it works out. At the same time, I'm coordinating a joint mountaineer effort in weaseling my way towards Lyon. If I take Lyon, everything down here starves, and then we try to reach Annecy. This is where there's a lot of impassable terrain. I could crush this southern bit of the front line that way. Hopefully that will allow me to split the front into two distinct parts. And once that's done, I can throw a lot of weight at the Balkans, reclaim the coast here. A campaign for Egypt, Turkey, and the Middle East, and maybe I can form Rome. All right, we've got Orléans. The magnificent armored columns have done their job, and now towards Brest, crush this utterly. All right, well, the armor is mopping this up. They should be able to secure that. And over here, outskirts of Lyon reached. Just gotta get them to stop pinning me for a fucking second, and then I should have... God's sake, no, endless pinning attacks. Come on, stop pinning me. All right, we've taken Lyon. All right, and from Lyon, there are some plains tiles I could leverage. Then more mountains. Great, look at that. The noose is tightening. And with the seizure of Grenoble, yes, the entire southern bit here encircled. We'll use the armor to mop up. Even though there are some mountains, the armor will at least take fewer casualties. I can replace tanks. I cannot replace Italians. Encirclement complete. They're stuck on two mountains, which the mountaineers can sort out. So this pocket here is like 100 divisions, maybe? And there goes that glorious pocket. It has been eliminated. That was 64,000 manpower and another 500,000 manpower. And there goes the rest of it. How much will that be? That was another... Oh, it's all listed individually. All in all, I think that was like 600,000 manpower all told. Oh yeah. 2.5 million soldiers of God gone to his gates. And we've sent 20 million Soviets down to the devil along with 4 million Germans. We're doing okay. So if we can tighten that noose here, close the gap, open up more combat with, attack Dijon from multiple sides. I need the city. It has like 30 divisions stacked on top of it, which is very cool, very nice. It does make it difficult to take, but even difficult things can be done. The city has been seized. I would love to use the tanks for it, but I need to be quick just in case they break this back open. Infantry assault immediately, and the armor is concentrated up north here. We'll simply put them on the main line as mobile roadblocks. Their job will be to hold that door open for as long as they can. Yep, that was 170,000 men, and now this next pocket should be so much more. That was 490,000 men. I accidentally everything in classic fashion removed units that I should not have removed. Completely forgot about the army that I had holding the pass here. Fuck! Anyway, the mess of North Africa is sorted. Might as well make a push through towards Alexandria. I don't think they have much here. Tank push here going remarkably well. We got the armor organized. Let's roll down the Adriatic coast as far as we can. As long as we keep the Alps locked down and this here doesn't crumble, we should be fine. There's a lot of pressure on my lines. As for North Africa, I've pushed as far as I'm really willing to go. I also think the time is right with the massive destruction the Comintern is facing. Distraction and destruction. Maybe call in all these stupid little puppets. Now, while I'm tearing mighty chunks out of the Balkan, very nice progress so far, I did notice a distinct lack of troops in Turkey. So I'm dispatching more troops this way. I'm going to send my armor across the seas to help me tear a new hole into İzmit İnönü's backside. And just like that, mountaineers have cut a path to Trabzon, so Trebizond. The mountaineers and the armor, once it arrives, will keep pushing to Istanbul, Ankara, and, well, knock out the Turks. Basic infantry that I have just had left lying around here somewhere. Is going to set up defensive patterns on this side and pray to Jeebus that they hold, because that's awfully close to the Soviet Union. I have bad news though. The Shetland Islands have been taken. It's a sight to behold, the complete collapse of my enemies. So that will see Turkey knocked out. There we go. Turkey out of commission. Get across. All right. The armor here got across. So we're going to set up the armored forces here and we're going to push out. And just like that, we're about to reach out and touch our own front line. Come on, touch tips. There we go. So all of Greece is now more or less isolated. And with that, the final Greek tile falls and we can achieve the Pope's hopes and dreams. Mare Nostrum, baby. Let's click that button. Oh, Regnum Romanum. We have achieved our goals. Love the flag. He doesn't get a new hat, but it will have to do. Manpower has gone up from 800,000 in reserve to 9 million men. I could probably go down a recruitment law because I don't need that many troops. Factories have shot up. I now have 356 factories. Mills, 409, and a bunch of decisions to reintegrate glorious lands like Hispania, Galatia and Cappadocia, Mauritania, Roman rule back to Gaul, Belgica. I'm missing the Isle of Man, but I could get that as well. We are winning. Let's take a look at the numbers here before we conclude this. 2.88 million lives lost in service to the holy cause. Acceptable. Our enemies have suffered badly. 56 million men, almost 31 of those being Soviet demons under Stalin's sway, 6.3 million Germans, an assortment of Czechs, Poles. Oh my god, the numbers are not good. The Chinese have also managed to lose 8 million men in the relatively short time they've been here, so lovely jubbly. Now, to achieve total victory, I would have to drive all the way to China. I don't want to do that, so maybe we can reconquer some of these things and then call it a day. And as the decline of my enemy sets in, I just like to show this one off. So went with the tanks up through The Hague and around, got into the plains of northern Germany where I could move, pushed up to the next river I found, and then started cutting south. Eventually reaching my own line. So we got a little bit of a pocket up there. Yeah, this one. It was 353,000 manpower lost in that one big pocket we made around the Ardennes. And now we've created, I think, a huge pocket. If this thing dies, I think that's it. And so we lay low, mighty Germany. The soldiers of the Lord march on. This is not just the Supreme Pontiff. It is not just the Vicar of Christ. This is a general now. A leader, not just a shepherd of men, a leader of warriors. Look at what we have achieved, gentlemen. We have taken all of our land, well, almost all of our lands, and we are driving the communist dogs ever back. We have reached the point where nothing else matters but victory. Offensive after offensive, human waves, men willing to lay down their lives for their faith in opposition to the man, the mustache, the devil, Joseph Stalin. We are pushing on with basic offensive maneuvering. I'm just letting the battle plans run. We've crushed them. A few big encirclements have reduced the Soviet army to less than mine own. Almost 41 million casualties. They're basically gone. The Chinese have also suffered greatly. 12 million casualties. They have a lot of divisions, but they're all trash. Nothing can stand against Rome. Nothing can stand against God. We march to victory. We have cored virtually everything we can core. I just need to integrate my puppets or invade some non-aligned nations. There's no point. Victory is all but assured. 1950, 5 years. In the 5 years given to me, I have restored our strength. I have restored our nation. And I have restored our pride. Regnum Romanum. We are victorious. We have lost 3.4 million men, but they have paid the ultimate sacrifice for a worthy cause. A lot of cores. Behold, mine cores. Yeah, the stuff up there is not, but the rest. Oh yes. Oh, yes. We can get some more by integrating Iraq, taking the Caucasus off them. We can grab that as well. So, let's see. I can get Scotland, just need to integrate them and just attack Ireland and integrate those as well. But it's a foregone conclusion. There is no point. I am not fighting all the way to China. We'll call this victory. A bloody victory, but a victory nonetheless. These men have borne the cross of victory again and again. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and go check out Trench Crusade. It has been my inspiration for this run, and I hope you guys will enjoy this next video as well. Goodbye.